People keep saying Musk and Epstein like it's one single story, but what do the actual emails show and what do they not show? I've gone through absolutely every email that Epstein and Elon Musk exchanged, and I've also looked at any emails that had Elon Musk's name in it to begin with. I've been looking at the dates, the logistics, the invitations, the cancellations, and in this video we're going to be sticking to the evidence before doing any sort of speculation or drawing any conclusions. So starting from the beginning, Epstein's pattern was to curate, invite, and leverage names. Across years, a consistent pattern shows up. Epstein curates lists, invites smart, high-status people, and uses social gatherings to build a network. In 2009, he asked for a list of smart, out-of-the-box people for a Florida get-together, and in the visible reply to this email, Elon Musk appears as one of the names suggested. This is a clear example of Epstein's operating mode, which includes collecting names, extending invites, and building proximity. Then around 2012 and 2013, we start to see actual contact and logistics of trying to meet up. The messages show direct contact and repeated attempts to coordinate Caribbean travel and meetups, especially in late 2012 into early 2013. For instance, in the fall of 2012, Epstein suggests that they either meet in New York or in St. Bart. Musk replies that he'll be in New York for media, but that he and Tallulah are actually headed to St. Bart for the year's end. Musk asks what's a good time to come over around late December, and Epstein replies with some dates. One line from the 2012 thread has become the most repeated, the most viral online. Musk tells Epstein that he'll be with Tallulah and then asks what day/night will be the wildest party on your island. Of course, this is not criminal evidence, despite how viral it is going online and people speculating lots based on it, and we will talk about it a bit later on. But it does prove that their relationship wasn't purely business or networking, but rather there was also a social nightlife code to it. And that is why people find the association so unsettling. Epstein replies that he will see him in St. Bart and that there will be a certain ratio that might make his wife at the time, Tallulah, uncomfortable. And Musk replied that he doesn't really have a problem, that she doesn't have a problem with this ratio. And if I'm correct, this ratio, back from my college days, I assume it means like that there would be a lot more women than men, and he's saying that she probably wouldn't be uncomfortable with that. The thread then shows multiple attempts to connect in St. Bart, including talks of drinks with some others and a possible lunch on the 31st, but it also includes explicit language like, sorry we didn't connect, and later a lunch plan that gets cancelled due to illness on Musk's part, who claims he had food poisoning. So we see attempts to meet up documented, but also both of them missing out on some of these opportunities. Separately, there's also an operational email confirming a lunch at SpaceX that includes the date, the time, and also the address. And another message where Epstein says that he and the girls will be going to see Musk at a SpaceX event. From 2013 to 2015, we continue seeing these invitations as well as Epstein's connector role. Epstein continues trying to invite Musk to different events, and other people keep treating Epstein as a sort of facilitator who can give access to Elon Musk. Then in 2015, there's a message that reads like, I'm having dinner tonight with Elon Musk. And separately, a third party explicitly asks Epstein if he can arrange a meeting with Musk for a business pitch. Again, this mostly shows networking and proximity attempts. Now let's talk about what the emails do not prove, just based on everything we can see. And I mean, who knows if there's other sort of data or information that we're not being provided, but there probably is, to be fair. But just based on everything that we can see and we have been shown, here is what you cannot responsibly claim from these emails alone. You cannot claim that Musk actually visited Epstein's island, and this is something that he says he never did, and we'll see that in a bit. You cannot really claim flights or interactions in the infamous and horrible Lolita Express plane, and you cannot claim criminal behavior, as nothing in these emails or excerpts actually prove that or show that. And again, this is a very unfortunate situation because as much as they have released some things, and I'm actually surprised to the extent that they have released some things, they will probably never truly release the extent of it that could actually condemn some of these people. And I'm not even talking about Musk right now, but there are some emails that suggest very horrible things done by other notable figures. But unless they release actual evidence, which Elon Musk says that Epstein recorded everything, who knows if that's true, it's likely, I suppose, then we'll never actually see these people condemned for what they did. So just based on emails, of course, people can speculate, but there's actually really no sort of condemnation. that can be done responsibly from any of these, unless you don't really care about that part. Of course, you can draw your own conclusions, and we'll get to that in a minute. But in recent public posts, Elon Musk himself has claimed that he never actually attended any of these parties, or that he never went to said island, despite multiple attempts by Epstein inviting him himself. And Musk has been indeed talking about the Epstein files for quite a while and asking for them to be released and for people who have been guilty to be imprisoned, or, for justice to be done. And some people claim that he is comfortable doing this because he's so wealthy and so powerful that who knows if he couldn't have silenced or filtered out anything that could have condemned him, while others claim that if he was really guilty, why would he have gone through the efforts of asking these files to be released and for these people to be condemned. So I'll leave that up to you to decide if you think he's just powerful enough that he knows he's untouchable, or if you think if he was truly guilty, he probably wouldn't even be talking about this with such confidence to begin with. Because really the most fair evidence-based position so far is that the records support coordination and attempted meetups, plus at least one concrete actual meetup that did take place, but does not by itself actually prove any island visit, a flight, or criminal conduct. What the materials do support is that there was ongoing coordination attempts and real contact, and it does seem that Elon Musk has, like many others, kind of tried to downplay the relationship between them or what was actually going on, the proximity that they may have had. But we can actually tell that Epstein repeatedly tried to include Musk in his social and status network using invitations, logistics, and introductions, while Musk engaged at times, declined at others, and several meetups appeared not to have happened. Anything beyond that really requires records that we don't have here. The records also show that several meetups seem to not have happened because of both having problems with the logistics, and that the relationship had two lanes, both one that seemed more geared towards the business and networking side, and then the other one that was purely social and nightclub-ish. It also seems that Epstein's network really treated Elon Musk as a valuable trophy and asset. We see several emails of people trying to connect to Elon Musk via Epstein himself, and even Epstein at the beginning of all this thread trying to gain access to Elon Musk. So while the emails do not directly disprove his core denial, which is that he had absolutely nothing to do with these parties or with these flights, they do still contradict a different idea that some people imply online, which is that Elon Musk had absolutely nothing to do with Epstein, because the messages do show contact, coordination attempts, and to an extent, some familiarity. I think both of these things can coexist here. And of course, in hindsight, Elon Musk asking Epstein directly about the wildest party on his island does look extremely bad, because we now know what Epstein was up to and how many other people seem to have been a part of this. Also, when you place online next to other phrases in the email like the ratio or no girls under 25, the social context is clearly being sold as party with young attractive women. However, I will say that this is kind of the social context that you would see with any party situation, especially that of powerful, rich men. They all typically party with younger, attractive women. I mean, not even rich and successful men do this. So, of course, the more rich and successful ones will do it to this extent. So I would say, as viral as this line has become, it reflects more than anything bad optics, bad judgment, and just bad company in general. And I will say this is not me defending absolutely anyone, because who actually knows? I mean, we've seen enough now that it's actually stupid to defend anybody. But when you do look at all these emails, you do get a sense that many of them were just logistical, and there were some interactions that were purely logistical or networking based, and many others that are a lot darker. So just because someone's name was put in these emails is not enough to say that they were directly involved in the darker side of the story. But at this point, given everything that is coming out, it's also not enough to think that they were a completely innocent bystander. So another reason why people do not think that Musk was inherently involved in these files, or that he took place in any of the dark stuff that was going on in the islands or elsewhere, is the fact that, as we can see here, he has offered to pay defense fees of anyone who speaks the truth about Epstein Island and is sued. So just as you can see here, he has offered to cover legal defense costs for anyone who is sued for telling the truth about the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking scandal, specifically those who speak publicly about it and face litigation as a result. This offer has actually come amid renewed public interest in Epstein after the US Department of Justice released a large batch of documents related to his case. So very recently, as we know. And he has made the pledge on his social media platform X, saying that he would pay for legal defenses for people who are sued for truthfully sharing information about the case. This announcement, when it took place recently, followed discussions, including one by conservative commentator Matt Walsh, about why survivors or others haven't named alleged perpetrators publicly, and Musk has responded that he would, as we can see here, back the legal costs if they did and were sued. So of course this is not definitive proof of anything, because at this point what is, but it's definitely quite interesting. At least I think so, but do let me know what you think. I definitely think it does paint the picture in his favor regarding just having, like he has claimed, shared a few emails and met the guy a couple times. So today we know who Epstein was, but the harder question is how much each person knew at the time, and that's why this looks bad as a matter of judgment and association, but it does not by itself prove knowledge of crimes or participation. So I think the fairest hypothesis that does fit everything that we have seen and that has been shown is that Epstein clearly targeted high status people and tried to draw them into his orbit using invitations, logistics, and introductions. Musk appears to have been one of those targets, and the emails suggest intermittent and pragmatic engagement, mixed with non-commitment and also several failed meetups. The materials support contact and attempted coordination, but do not on their own prove island or plane attendance or criminal involvement. So based on all this, I would love to read what hypotheses or what conclusions you actually get out of this. If you found this video interesting, please make sure to share it with someone who might also find it interesting. Make sure to subscribe to give this a like, and I will see you very soon.